I'm going to give you a pretty big tip here. One reason that a lot of players fail, not only at high school and college, but also at the pro level, at the major league level. And it simply is a lot of players get too wrapped up in the result. Let's face it, baseball is a results-oriented game and a results-oriented business. So if you're not putting up good results, you're not going to have a job for very long. With that being said, I think a lot of guys fall into the trap of, hey, I pitched a scoreless inning, or I got a base hit, or I didn't get a base hit, I went 0 for 4, or I gave up a couple runs, so that's terrible. And in reality, that's not the case. What happens in the game sometimes is, one, you get lucky, and two, you get unlucky. You might fail even though you did something well. And you might be successful and do something terrible. So for instance, if I go out there and I give up 3 rockets, but they're right at somebody, I don't give up any hits, I get 3 outs, no runs. You know, you come in the dugout, everybody, oh, all right, great job, scoreless inning. For me, I know that if I do that time and time again, if I do that tomorrow and the next day, my chances of being good are very small. And on the other hand, if I go out there and make my pitches and get a flare here, a flare there, maybe I make a bad pitch, it's a home run, you give up a couple runs. I know that if I make those pitches and I do that day in and day out, and I do it 9 out of 10 times, I'm gonna have a great season and I'm gonna be very successful. So essentially what I'm saying here is, just because you get a negative result, don't beat yourself up, because sometimes that's not the case. You pitched well and there's nothing you need to change. There's nothing you need to do different. The only thing that needs to change is the day. You always have tomorrow. So you go out, you do the exact same things you did on that day that you felt good, and you continue to do those, and the results will eventually change. Also, don't be happy because you threw a scoreless inning and you gave up freaking some líneas off the bat, or you got 3 hits, but all of them were jam shots that just blooped over the first baseman's head. You got some work to do. So don't be happy with that result. Realize, hey, I need to do some work here. That wasn't very good. I got lucky, but that was not good. And if I continue to do this every day and rely on this kind of luck, then my season's gonna go straight in the drain. And that's the beautiful thing about baseball, is it's a long season. You play a lot of games. You can fool them for a month. I've seen people fool them for a couple months, but when it comes to a full season, especially at the big league level, you're playing 162 games. You can't fool somebody for 162 games. The best place to start is a good routine. You find a routine that you love, that you have success with, stick with it. Do it day in and day out. On the days you feel good and you don't have a good result, bottle that up. Bottle up how good you feel. Don't worry about the result. And on the days you do have a good result and you don't feel great, bottle that up. Let yourself know, hey, I might have some work to do if I continue to do this. And sometimes it's just one day. And you get lucky that one day, and then it's all right, you keep rolling. But don't be satisfied with that situation. And then sometimes you just dominate. Sometimes you feel great and you play great, and you do that over and over and over. Bottle that up. And then some days you just feel like shit and your results are terrible, and those days you just say, hey, man, there's nothing I can do about that. Those happen to everybody. And hopefully this helps a lot of you guys out, a lot of younger guys, a lot of older guys, because I played with guys that had played years in the big leagues and they struggled with this. And, I feel like it was one of my strengths. My mental toughness and my confidence was probably my biggest strength when I played, but this was one of them as well, was I was able to realize the days that I needed to just let go and the days that I needed to keep on and just bottle that up and believe I was going to do that the next day and the next day and the next day.